afternoon, everybody. Welcome, one and all. We are here today casting Go4LoL Cup number 86. My name is Quickshot, and I'm going to be here the entire day. So it'd be fantastic if you guys could bring your aunts, your uncles, your moms, your dads, your cousins, your dogs, and anybody else that wants to learn to play League of Legends. Bring them through to the stream, and let's have some fun with it. We are kicking off with round 1 of the 330-team Go4LoL. And without bantering too much, we're already into the Champion Select. We're going to be following game number 1 between Prodigiously Gaming against First Time. We'll have a look at the teams in just a minute. But for the time being, Prodigious sitting on the right-hand side. Big Mata, of course, huge fan, throwing out all the forum threads and really sharing the love. So huge mad props to Mata at the minute. And while I'm waffling about that, we've already got bans. Warwick, Ari, Shen, and Morgana. Interestingly, a Skarner ban as well. That's a pretty unorthodox ban. Skarner, of course, a strong jungler. His Impale ability, his ultimate, gives him a great suppression and gives him the ability to pretend he's Scorpion for a few seconds. Get over here. Pull somebody backwards. Cassidy being banned out by Prodigious. And first pick does go to Nathid from First Time. So we'll have to check if they actually have played any previous Go4LoLs. But we'll have to see as the champions get selected. And first pick support, not unusual. You do tend to see Janna being the preferred support these days with all of the disruption she's got from her Howling Gale, as of course as her Monsoon ability, and she can put the slowdown as well. So Janna locked in for Prod. Janna Urgot looks like it's going to be the combo. Those Acid Hunters really going to hurt. As soon as Janna puts on Eye of the Storm, buffs up the attack damage from that mutant monster sewage creep thing Urgot. And it's really difficult to deal with. And just as I'm talking all about Janna, maybe Sona, maybe Janna. Alright, so Janna is locked in. AD carry look like Miller Killer No. Sounds like a song. Miller Killer No. Locking in his Urgot. So we've got our supports in the bot lane locked in and the AD carry. It's going to be interesting to see who FT are going to choose to counter Urgot. You do tend to see either a range champion, somebody like Caitlyn. She can use her Piltover Peacemakers, hang way back, keep the range to try and prevent as many of those Acid Hunters landing as possible. Or you could also see an Ezreal. Ezreals tend to be pretty good and use their Arcane Shift just to get out of range and, you know, really stay as far away from Urgot once that auto track locks on. And it looks like it might be an Ashe. That's an interesting pick. She's got the slow from her Frost Arrows, and of course Volley will keep Urgot back, but Ashe doesn't really outrange Urgot, and I don't think an Ashe Soraka is going to beat a Janna Urgot in that bottom lane. That's going to be very passive, defensive lane from Soraka Ashe. And I think Janna Urgot are going to play extremely aggressive on that bottom lane. Nautilus has been locked in. So Devson wanting to probably jungle Nautilus at the minute. That's what it's looking like. But of course, Nautilus can play either mid or top lane. All of his abilities scale off ability power, and they scale pretty hard. So the base values aren't that high. But once you pick up a few AP items, that Riptide and Dredge line really start to hit pretty hard. For Prod, we've now locked in Shaco and Kennen, and two very big quicks there, Shyvana and Karthus. So we're going to see either Nautilus or Shyvana in the top lane. And my guess is going to be on Shyvana. I think they're going to stick her in the top lane to face off against what looks like it's going to be an Irelia now. So we got slightly unusual picks. Shyvana and Nautilus, both of whom are preferred in the jungle. So we'll have to see who's actually going to pick up that jungle lane and who they feel can win out that top lane, who's most likely going to be either Lee Sin or Irelia at this point in time. So last pick coming in, of course, Karthus. Going to be playing in that middle lane. And we'll have to see how Karthus plays, just how aggressive he's going to go with Karthus. You tend to see Karthus play like a suicide strategy. Jump into the middle of a team fight, just blow up and use these Undying passive and just sit there for another 7 seconds as a corpse, throwing out all that damage. So we do have a Lee Sin lock-in. So that tells me it's probably going to be Shaco in the jungle and Lee Sin in the top lane. And Lee Sin's got huge damage once he builds a bit of AD and puts some pressure on. But I want to see now who's going to be facing off against Lee Sin. Who do first time want to put in that top lane? It's looking like it's going to be Shyvana. There's no one swapping around just yet. So we do have the champions all fully locked in. Once the 3 minutes timer is in, now we have our lineup. So it's going to be Shyvana in the top lane, Flash Ignite. We've got Karthus in the middle lane going Flash Exhaust. And I think that's a fantastic pick against Kennen. Drop the damage from his Slicing Maelstrom, prevent his movement speed, and slow him down when he dashes in with that Lightning Rush. So I think that's a very smart move from Karthus. Combo Exhaust with Wall of Pain. And that's really going to, slow Kennen down and reduce his damage a huge amount. Top lane's going to be an extremely aggressive top lane. Shyvana is a very, very good pusher. As soon as she activates Burnout, she's going to start tossing out those flames, tossing out that damage. And she's going to constantly be overextending, I feel, if she uses her Burnout often. And Shyvana, Lee Sin top lane, I haven't actually seen. So it's going to be an interesting one to watch. And then, of course, on the bottom lane, we're going to have Soraka Ashe probably playing defensively against the Janna Karthus of Prodigiously Gaming. So round number 1 of the Go4LoL Cup number 86 is the German Prodigiously Gaming facing off against the Polish side of First Time LoL. And this is, in fact, their first time together in a Go4LoL tournament. So we'll have to see if they're going to crash out early or not. In terms of seeds, we've got 330 teams in total. Seeded 269th, Prodigiously Gaming, and 244th is First Time. I have absolutely no idea how the seeding works, but it'll be an interesting one to see how this game plays out. For those of you who don't know, my name is Quickshot. I'm a South African shoutcaster, and we're going to be here for Go4LoL all day long. The Spectator client has a built-in 3-minute delay, so we're waiting for the final minute before we jump into the game world, and it's just to allow or to prevent ghosting from taking part. If players open up the stream, they can see where wards are, but of course, after 3 minutes, wards have already expired. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good one. And it would be fantastic if you guys could spread the love, spread the word. And yeah, 93 viewers at the moment. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I do turn my head to chat every now and again. And do throw some love back and forth. So feel free to introduce yourself. Maybe I'll ruin your nickname by trying to pronounce it with a South African accent. Game number 1, Polish team facing off against the German side. And based on champion picks, I think if Prodigious don't pick up an early victory by 30 to 35 minutes, I really think they're going to be in a lot of trouble, because Shaco doesn't offer a huge amount of team fight presence when it comes to those big 5-on-5 engagements. And having a look at some of the nicknames there, we've got some really rude ones. Hello, the AIDS man. Who's that squeaky kid? Technolink. What's up, guys? And based on nationality, let's not go back to that. Let's not go back to that, guys. So the game is finally loading up. And like I was trying to say, the champions for Prodigious, they do tend to fall off once you hit that really late game stage. Kennen and Lee Sin just falling off when it comes to the AP burst and AD damage, whereas Shyvana and Karthus really just scale harder and harder and harder. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. We've also got Nefri on Ashe. That's an AL tag, so I don't know if this is an absolute Legends player that's playing with a couple of friends or playing with a couple of fans or not. But we'll have to see how this goes. And based on the skins, I am a huge fan of Kennen. I love Kennen, and we've got a sexy Janna skin as well. But that Amethyst Ashe is also particularly cool. So I'm not sure where the skin war's going to win. Who's the vote, guys? Which team's got the best skins at the minute? The duo team of Janna Kennen or our Amethyst Ashe? We are fully loaded up. Game 1, Go4LoL 87. I'm going to turn off the chat box there. We don't need to see it. We don't need to keep an eye on anything from those guys. And now we're just going to see the champions moving into their lanes. Boots pots across the board, except for Ashe, who's going to pick up the Doran's Blade by having Soraka in her lane. That is, of course, going to... Ooh, hello. My mouse is just being a little bit funny today. Soraka, of course, going to be able to heal up, going to be able to use Astral Blessing, and really just keep Ashe as healthy as is possible. Just going to move my map scroll speed just a little bit more, just so that I'm not giving you guys motion sickness when I'm trying to move around. So, having a look at first items, first buys, boots, pots. We've of course got supports with their fairy charms and wards, and a pretty standard start. First time playing quite aggressively on the invade here, and that is of course because they're going to try and disrupt the Shaco boxes. Shaco of course going to be able to put those jack-in-the-boxes down, stacking up 3 or 4 of them before the golem buff spawns, and a great dredge line goes down, applies the 0.5 second stun onto Tita from Shaco. A nice Q from Lee Sin will chase it up, and there's the first box, going to pop it, and that pretty much slows, that instantaneously puts Shaco behind on his jungling path. Not being able to pick up red, not being able to pick up blue very early, means that he's not going to be able to clear the jungle paths as quickly. So he's lost the single jack in the box. He's going to start stacking them up here on blue. Opting to do the pull strategy. We'll apply some damage to the ancient golem. Pull it into the grass. I'm going to actually show you guys this. Maybe some of you haven't seen how to effectively pull with Shaco boxes. We've only got the 2 at the minute, but with some extra damage from Urgot, that is going to be great, but a bit of a poor positioning there. The big golem not taking the full damage from the jack in the boxes. But along with damage from Urgot and the fact that he got a good 2 odd seconds of double jack in the boxes, smite not even needed for the blue buff, and that's going to allow, I think that's Titty. That's a very rude name. It's going to allow Titty to use his smite on this red buff, and he's immediately going to be moving up. So both buffs picked up, Nautilus and Shaco using it. It's extremely important on Nautilus. His Riptide and, what's his W called? There we go. Titan's Wrath have huge mana costs at low level, and with a fairly small mana pool, it makes it very difficult to farm efficiently at low levels without items, without having constant supply of mana. Over 100 viewers, guys. What's up? Welcome. Wearing the blue trunks, we have first time from Poland, facing off against the purple trunks of Prodigiously Gaming. And nothing too exciting to kick off the beginning stages. No, a huge amount of aggression either. Level 1, look at the damage being put down. Auto attack volley, auto attack from Nefri on Ashe. Just melts away half the hit points of Urgot. And that's him starting to drink his potions. So using the potions early is a bit of a disadvantage for Urgot, because he's in a sustain lane. Up in the top lane, we have a Deceive coming up from Shaco. Great jack in the box going down. But the fear pushes Shyvana away from the turret. A little bit of an unlucky fear there. If Shyvana was forced to run back towards the rain or back towards the river, may have resulted in a gank. But good early pressure from Shaco, and that's what he's going to need to do. Shaco needs to get ahead early, and he needs to pick up items, because he simply does not scale, and he's not a very tanky champion either. So if he doesn't get some items and some goodies going, it's going to be very difficult in the mid game. Just putting some auto attack damage, going to throw out that 2 shift poison, land some auto attacks in the back of Karthus, and just poking him, letting him know he's there. And of course, any damage is helpful, any presence is helpful. It immediately puts Karthus on the back foot, immediately makes him start thinking, maybe I should play a bit more defensively. And of course, if you can win some mind games, then of course, it's always going to help you out. Shaco going for the invade now, starting to put these jack in the boxes down. The red buff still not taken by Nautilus, so he opted to go for a full clear. That was blue, wolves, double golem, back up to raids, and now he's coming for the red buff. Titi may want to take this fight, opting not to though. So there's the jack in the box down. The Titan's Wrath shield from Nautilus tanks most of that damage. It barely hurt him. Shaco does have smite up, and he's going to be able to jump in here. Let's see what happens with Devson. He's already jumped to half life. This may be first blood. It's so disappointing and frustrating if this is how it's going to go down. As a jungler, jump goes in. There's the smite from Shaco. Managed to pick him up. Ignite goes down. Flash from Nautilus. The blinker from the Deceive really well timed from Titi, but opting not to push forward. And I think there was a little bit of indecision from Titi. He didn't put any jack in the boxes down. He didn't stick it behind that Nautilus to try and prevent him getting away. So I think a little bit of a mistake on that part, and huge damage going down on the top lane. Mata versus Gurney. Both champions down to less than a third life. And as I mentioned earlier, really, really aggressive in this top lane. Both champions can deal huge, huge damage. The twin bite from Gurney, of course, applies 2 auto attacks for one animation, both of which also apply on-hit effects. So when he picks up an item like a Wit's End, for example, it's double the proc of Wit's End, double the damage, and if you time it correctly, you can get auto attack, followed by Twin Bite, followed by auto attack. It really increases the amount of damage you can put out. And now Mata, a bit overextended on Lee Sin. Moving forward, he's just used his Iron Will to jump back. For Lee Sin, he's going to be very, very smart. Great awareness and positional play. Instead of opting to run towards Nautilus, he's just going to be able to swing that anchor and stun him. He moves down. Turret aggro was on the minions, and really, really great movement there from Mata. Great positional play. Aggression going down this mid lane as well. Karthus looks like he's got the advantage at the minute. He's slightly low on mana, so he's going to need to be careful with those layer wastes. If he runs out of mana, of course, no Wall of Pain, no AoE damage from his Defile. Farm-wise, 43 CS on Kennen to the 48 on Karthus, 28 on Shyvana to the 35 on Lee, so that's a bit of an advantage there. Bot lane, 44 for Urgot to the 47 on Ashe, so teams could not be closer. 6.5 minutes in, no first blood yet, and both teams sitting 7,600 gold. And I think Prodigious are going to have to start putting some pressure down to pick up kills. Because Shaco, once again, he's a bit of an unorthodox jungler. He does have decent damage once he picks up a few items, maybe a Phage or a Brutalizer, for example. Combo that with his 2-shift poison, and it can hurt. But the problem is his CC is a little bit unreliable, and he really doesn't scale well. So we've got a first blue buff steal, it looks like. 7 minutes in. This is the first respawn after being killed for the Ancient Golem buff. Nautilus is miles away, sitting on the bot lane, so great steal there. Level 4 Nautilus, he does have a red buff as well, and if he can land a good dredge line, it may be enough damage when comboed with Ashe. So let's see what happens here. Ashe at the minute, currently maxing out her volley, so she's going for the standard skill procedure. Early points into volley to get the damage up as high as possible, and to help farm, just like there, apply enough damage across the creeps, throw out the volley and pick up all of the CS pretty quickly and efficiently. Top lane, fight going back and forth, and Gurney actually has a level advantage, but that is of course because the creep wave is significantly in Shyvana's favor. There's at least 2 full waves of creeps here from Lee Sin. So looking at the damage, Lee Sin, he wants to put pressure, he wants to apply some aggression onto Gurney, but he can't afford to lose creeps at this stage, so he's playing smart, playing intelligently. He's going to allow the creep wave to push and just pick up these last hits. 2 hits from the turret, then 1 auto attack is usually enough to pick up the kill once you've got a little bit of AD. And interestingly, Lee Sin opting to finish his Merc trades before anything else, not going for a Phage or the other damaging items. Her1 moving up, taking huge damage now from Karthus' lay waste and some Defiles. If he takes 1 or 2 more Defiles down, the Requiem, that's going to be enough to kill Kennen. Unlucky, really unlucky. Drinking the potions, not able to pick up a kill on Kennen, but the Shaco who was sitting in the jungle, where was Shaco? I didn't even see. He goes down in the jungle, but unbelievable HP there from Kennen. Getting away by the skin on his teeth. His HP was super low. Compliments of huge damage being applied by lay waste, but the potion just enough to bring him back into it. Pressure on the top lane once again. Flame Breath landing onto Mata. So Gurney's just using the only ranged ability he has at the minute. Doing a bit of range poke. And really unlucky for Shaco for that timing on Requiem. And now we got some damage going down. Resonating Strike picked up. Dragon's Form coming out from Shyvana, and she's going to be able to use Ignite, Burnout, and a couple more auto attacks to finish off Lee Sin. So with the 2 kills and a small farm advantage, it's now a 2,000 gold lead. Shaco setting up in this mid lane and really unfortunately giving a double buff to Karthus at the 9-minute mark. So even though they stole blue, it doesn't mean anything. Using Deceive, jumping away from Nautilus and getting away from... He was trying to set up a gank. Nautilus now opting to move forward. Can use that dredge line. And wow, decent damage coming out from her on Kennen. He's moving forward. That might have been the stun. Dredge line used. Her1 is putting some damage down now. Uses his lightning rush. That'll be almost enough for the stun. Kennen still has his ultimate, popping it very late though. Karthus has come in. Defile and lay waste, taking huge damage. Urgot's come up from the bottom lane now as well. Acid Hunter's locked on, so that's a kill onto Karthus. If Urgot opts to use his hyperkinetic position transfer switcher, pulls Nautilus back in a great turnaround. Immediately pulling the gold graph back to tie. And fantastic timing for Urgot to decide to come up at that time. I don't know if they wanted to push for Dragon or not, but it worked out fantastically. I'm going to get, what's the full name on that? It is Hyperkinetic Position Reverser. There we go. You cannot have a more epic ultimate name than that. So 5-man Dragon, so that's immediately going to put them a gold advantage. Q lands, he's not going to follow it up. That Hadouken from Lee Sin, decent range, and of course, the more HP somebody's missing, the more damage it's going to deal. So 2-2 is the scoreline at the minute. First time they had the advantage, but they have lost it. Or at least it's been tied up. That's a better way to look at it. Lee Sin landing a Q, fantastically done. Tempest is Tempest and the slowest pushback. Dragon's Rage immediately pushes Ashe all the way back, and that's just a melted Ashe. Top lane, there's pressure now as well. Shyvana being put on, ganked by Shaco and Kennen. Kennen moving up to cover the top lane. Not in time to save the turret though, and Dragon Form coming up. Really good damage. Ignite is down. Twin Bite, as long as the Flame Breath. Great Lightning Shuriken coming out, and this is going to be a double kill Requiem. Really, really great play by Karthus. Requiem coming up just when it's needed, and the damage from Shyvana. Tanking 2 all day long. Really being beaten on by Kennen and Shaco, but managing to put up enough damage to pick up 2 kills. And obviously picking up the assists from that as well. So 4-4 is the kill score. Now, Miller Killer No, with Urgot has a double buff, and that's really going to be disadvantageous for Ashe. She's gone double Dorans and Berserker's Greaves. Urgot is 3-0-0 with the Brutalizer and double buffed. So he's just going to be throwing those Acid Hunters all day long. He's got infinite mana, he's got cooldown reduction, and it's really going to help him try and put some pressure on this bottom lane. And he needs to take advantage of it. Before those buffs wear out, he needs to make sure he keeps really playing super aggressively, get that Eye of the Storm from Janna up, and keep Ashe down, keep Ashe back. 2 turrets down for Prodigiously Gaming at the minute. And FT playing very, very well, even though the... fantastic steal from Titi coming up. Got the vision from the Jack in the Box. Smite was available, and he just walks up, casually throws it down, says, thank you very much. Didn't even need deceive. And really, really good play there. Great timing as well. They stole the blue buff earlier, so they knew exactly when it was going to be respawning. And that just allows Shaco to move in there and nonchalantly be like, sup, bro? I've got the red buff, the blue buff. Gold advantage still in favor of FT at the minute. And that's down to some farming and the turrets, of course. I'd forgotten about that. 150 gold per player per turret. So that's a 1,500 gold difference in total for the 2 turrets. It doesn't really show too much, at least as far as items are concerned. The 3-1 Karthus having the kills is going to help him out. He's already finished his ROA, and he's got Sorcerer's Shoes up as well. And Ashareth flying out, not managing to hit anybody. A little bit ambitious. I think they were hoping Kennen was going to stick around and farm. And now we've got a top lane of pressure here. Gurney moving in. He's waiting for Shaka to take more damage, but Lee Sin and Kennen are really close. It's going to depend how they react. The auto attack followed by the twin bite takes away 30% of Titi's health. And it's really going to be difficult. And now we've got a huge collection of champions moving up together. Wall of Pain goes down. Not enough to stop Lee Sin, though. He's just going to use his safeguard to jump to Shaco. Great split by Lee Sin and Shaco, trying to dissipate the aggression, trying to split their focus. And while all of that is going on, bottom lane picks up a kill. Turret dive, it looked like, from Janna and Urgot. So well done by Miller Killer. No, both of his buffs have worn out, so we can assume that he did actually play very, very aggressively. To commit to a tower dive against a Soraka and a Ashe is very brave. And interestingly enough, Soraka didn't even get Wish off. So she wasn't even paying attention to that bottom lane. Wasn't paying attention to her carry. And just the Polish side, first time, they're just going to push turrets. So you know what? You guys are pushing bottom, but we're going to take top. We'll trade an inhibitor turret for an exterior turret any day of the week. But opting not to fall on, not to push it though. Once Prodigiously get together and hang up and group up, they don't want to fight. So pretty interesting to see how the teams are playing out at the minute. 4-5 is the kill score. With the kill advantage and the turret going down, gold is now only 500 gold difference. 2 turrets to the single. And we've hit the mid-game stage. So all of the teams are going to start grouping up. They're going to start moving in 2s, 3s, 4s, and really going to be applying a lot of pressure together as a 5-man team. Kennen is underleveled here. Shyvana's pretty much been left unchecked in that top lane. So 129 CS to the 77, sorry, 112 CS to the 77 of Lee Sin. And only 85 on Kennen. Kennen really falling behind on farm, not having that turret. By trying to put pressure on that top lane, trying to pick up ganks, and going to pick up the dragon, for example, it's put him 40 creeps behind. And it's going to start showing because he hasn't even finished his sorcerer's shoes yet, or maybe he's going merc trades. Boots and the null magic, that's probably going to be merc trades. And that's a smart decision. You've got really decent AP damage from Nautilus, and of course the Karthus ultimate. There goes the huge depth charge, immediately going to knock Kennen up. He's popped his slicing maelstrom and may be able to survive, so Karthus is the first one to go down. Immediate counter gank was a 2v1, becomes a 5v2. Dredgeline goes out. Karthus is landing the lay waste. If that last lay waste had landed, it may have been enough with Requiem to pick up a kill. And great decision there by Karthus. Great decision not to throw out the Requiem just because he's dead. Anybody that does play Karthus, always remember that. Don't throw Requiem just because you're dead. If it's not going to pick up a kill, don't use the ability. It's got a really high cooldown and a very aggressive Lee Sin jumps forward, uses his Dragon Rage to knock both of the champions up. But he doesn't have enough hit points to tank the turret, and he's going to go down from Shyvana. One more Flame Breath is going to pick up the kill. A Q lands from Lee Sin. He jumps in to pick up the resonating strike kill, and the shield almost enough to survive Requiem. Monsoon just a second late. Just not in time to save Lee Sin. And kill advantage now in favor of Prodigiously Gaming. They're going to be trying to put pressure down for the second dragon. That's going to go down very, very quickly. Millekiller no, 6-0-1. Out of the 8 kills, he's been involved in 7, picked up 6. Already finished his Frozen Heart, and a great aggression from Nautilus. Dredgeline immediately locks up Urgot. He applies the stun to Kennen. Kennen gets slowed by the Wall of Pain. Does he have his flash up? No flash or lightning rush. And eventually nothing's going to come of it as they... Prodigious did start to fall back already. Did immediately start just moving away the second they had vision, the second they seen that Ash arrow coming in. So great team play there by Prodigiously Gaming. Picking up the second dragon of the game and putting themselves now in the gold lead for the first time. 1,500 gold. What's up, guys? 116 viewers. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Quickshot, and this is what a South African sounds like. So drop me a love letter. Say hi in chat. I'd love to say your nickname and maybe ruin it. Ash being taken out bottom lane. 1v1 against Urgot. He used his ultimate and hyperkinetic position reverser. Pulled Ash backwards. You can see the corpse of Ash laying there. And with Frozen Heart, Brutalizer, and the blue buff, it was just more than enough damage to solo Ash. Even though Ash already has more DPS items, the armor and the auto attack speed reduction is really going to help Urgot win out in terms of DPS against his champions. So this is looking good for Prodigious at the minute. They have the kill advantage, they have a small gold lead, and of course they've got timing on dragons and the buffs. But if they don't start converting these leads into map control, they need more turrets, and they need to start invading and really locking FT Gaming out. Once Kennen and Shaka start to fall off in these team fights, it's going to be very difficult for them to pick up a late game win. So keep an eye on how things are going. Looking at the item build at the minute, we've got a Wit's End and Shyvana, just like I mentioned earlier. Fantastic item. Increases your auto attack speed. It gives you magic resist with each auto attack that gets used. And of course, combo it with Twin Bite. It double the proc, double the magic resist, and double the damage as well. I think it's 42 damage per auto attack. There we go. So great item there on Shyvana. Lee Sin opting to go Brutalizer and then a Null Magic Mantle as well. So that's probably going to become a Hex Drinker. Hex Drinker, of course, recently getting an upgrade. Can be upgraded to the Maw of Malmortius. And just a really great tanky DPS build, tanky DPS item. Gives you that fantastic active or passive shield. And if there's enough magic damage that's going to kill you, it'll save you. Pop up a magic shield, lasts a couple of seconds, and I believe it prevents 450 odd damage. Farm-wise at the minute, 110 CS for Kennen to 166 on Karthus. Karthus significantly ahead in farm. He also has 4 kills, so really starting to look very scary. Great poison charge land there from Urgot. Going to throw out that Acid Hunter, and it's really starting to hurt. I mean, that was just one Acid Hunter. And chunked off about 200 hit points from Shyvana. Obviously not prioritizing too much armor at the minute. 5 plus 50, so Stack is sitting on 167 and 111 magic resist. That's a super tanky Shyvana with only really sort of 1.5 items. I mean, that Warden's Mail is going to eventually be built up to the Randian's Omen. And that's a great, great, great move. Great item to use against this team because Kennen, Shaco, Lee Sin, they're all mobile. They all dash and jump around and move. And a lot of their damage and kiting ability is based on their movement attributes. Activate the Randian's Omen. It's going to slow everybody down, slow everybody around. And a fantastic Ash Arrow actually was going to miss, but her one dashes into it with his Lightning Rush. And that is just a completely melted Kennen. So unlucky that Ash Arrow was going to miss him. It was just to the left. And the Lightning Rush pulled him just a tad to the left, or to his right, actually. And ended up costing him a life. So now we got some aggression coming down on this turret. No carry from FT, though. So the wave gets cleared out pretty quickly. And neither of these champions are really great when it comes to taking out turrets, taking down towers. So we'll have to see. While all of that's going on and the attention was on the middle lane, Shyvana has just been left to free farm, AFK farm top. So she's moved up. Shaco comes out, uses his 2 Shiv Poison. No fear or Jack in the Box is being put down. And look at the damage from Shyvana. She puts auto attack Twin Bite, and it just melts almost half the hit points away from Mata. They do defend this top tower, but it's down to 400 or 500 hit points. And it's just not enough. Now the aggression is turned on. Hyper-connected position reverse onto Nautilus, and that's not the smartest move. You never want to focus the tanky jungler. He manages to flash away. The Acid Hunter still locked on. Uses his Dredge Line to move forward, but not before Lee Sin dashes forward. Hadouken to a flying bicycle kick. Thinks he's Liu Kang for a couple of seconds, and Mata picks up a kill. Ash does take a turret down in the bottom lane, and now we're going for Baron. This is a very aggressive move. They know Ash is missing. They know Nautilus isn't there either. With Shaco's Deceive his ultimate up, he's moving in. Let's see what happens. Karthus is split. And look at the damage being put out by Baron Nash. It's really starting to tear them down. Shyvana jumps in with a brilliant Dragon's ultimate. Ash Arrow lands onto Urgot, so Urgot's removed from the fight for a few seconds. All the damage from Baron, as well as the damage from Shyvana, is just too much to handle. And that's 1 kill for 1 at the minute. Karthus has gone down. Karthus does pick up a double kill with Requiem, though. That's a triple kill, quadra kill from Karthus. And his passive absolutely fantastically turned around. The Ash Arrow, even though she wasn't there, even though Ash wasn't doing any attack damage at all, her Ash Arrow stunning Urgot for the full duration, the full 3 seconds. So he was being beat in the head by the giant worm that is Nasha. And Shyvana just really tearing people apart. The damage she's putting out is immense at this point in time. Combo that with a Rabadon's Deathcap, Rod of Ages, Karthus. All of his lay waste and his Defile just continually ticking. DPS, DPS, DPS. It was a brave move by Prodigious. It may have been enough to secure them the game if they had taken it. But unluckily, they actually not only didn't get Baron, they got aced in return. So the 4,000 gold lead with all of those kills, all of the farm and the turrets. And things are looking a little bit bad now, or a little bit scarier for Prodigiously Gaming. Kill score's tied up. Kills don't really mean anything. It is more about the gold. And with the 2 turrets that Ash has picked up, and obviously the assists from a Crystalline Arrow, she's managed to complete her Infinity Edge and pick up a Zeal. Randian's Omen is now complete for Shyvana as well. So the auto-attack champions of Lee Sin, Urgot, Shaco, great Q comes down. Kennen's jumping in, Lightning Rush. Uses his Shuriken to pick up the final kill. Karthus manages to pick up a kill with his passive Lay Waste and Defile, really doing huge, huge damage. Ash Arrow comes up, locks up Shaco on the passive of Karthus. And he just continually applies damage, even from beyond the grave, picking up kills. Lightning Rush just getting Kennen out of range of that Dredge Line. Just getting him away from that incredibly scary anchor. 130 viewers, what's up? Greetings, welcome everybody. Go4LoL Cup 87, 330 teams competing. And my name is Quickshot. Say hi in chat. I'd love to say your nickname, or maybe ruin your nickname, depending on, you know, your point of view. Urgot with blue buff now, and really putting huge damage onto this lane. Double buff blue actually as well, because Kennen did pick up that kill credits onto Karthus. He also picked up the bonus gold, so that really helps. Another turret going down just from creeps, just from that split pushing earlier. The damage, the attention of pulling Prodigious into the mid lane and allowing Shyvana to just AFK farm top means another turret goes down, and that's 4 turret advantage. 3,000 gold is accredited to these turrets alone. So let's have a look as we get set up for another team fight. The game looks weird without a HUD. I wonder if that's better for team fights. What do you guys think? HUD or no HUD for team fights? Like now that we got Baron coming up. So pull it back up as it is a bit of a delay, a bit of indecision. What's up, Ali? Greetings, welcome. Baron Nashor has been started now by first time from Poland. A Q lands from Lee Sin. Shaco's going to dump forward, and that's a 2-man jump in. They steal the Baron buff. That is absolutely fantastic. Smite with Resonating Strike takes it down. Immediately, Karthus is focused and blown up, but he's still dealing damage. His passive is ticking. He can still cast spells for 7 seconds. Requiem along with Lay Waste is enough to pick up a few more kills. And even though they steal Baron, they give up another ace, and Shyvana managing to pick up a triple kill there. 1 or 2 being picked up by Karthus as well. And that is just so much damage. With the inability to get rid of Karthus, with Karthus going down in and amongst your team and still continuing to fight on that undead Karthus, it just hurts so badly. Death Defiled, allowing him to stay, allowing him to cast spells for free at no mana cost for 7 seconds. He's sitting with Rabadon's Death Cap, Rod of Ages, and a Blasting Wand, Void Staff to negate the magic resist. It's huge damage. And there's just not enough magic resist coming out from Prodigious at the minute. Dodge Dis, what's up? And Hogza as well. Greetings, guys. Or HogZA if you're South African, and that's Zuid Africa. 5,000 gold difference, 17-14 kill score advantage in favor of first time. And it looks as though these Baron Nashors and the Baron Nashor engagements are just, they're just so unlucky, so untimely for Prod at the moment. Double ace from their team. And this is what I was trying to say earlier. Shaco's sitting at 0-5. And that's not necessarily because Shaco is playing badly. It's just the champion cannot handle sustained damage in these prolonged team fights. And the tanky DPS side, Nautilus, Shyvana, and a huge high hit point Karthus, in conjunction with all the heals that come up from Soraka, they just can't blow them up. They don't have a standard burst heavy mage. You know, like a Brand or an Anivia or Ari that can just deal out really great burst damage. Kennen can, of course, but it does need to combo all of his abilities. He needs to jump in there and get Slicing Maelstrom on for a few seconds, land a Lightning Rush across everybody, and then throw out the Electrical Surge. So it takes a few seconds to get that burst out, and it just allows FT to really get in position. And great hyperkinetic position reverser completely locks up Karthus. And when you got 5-on-1, it doesn't matter who you are, that's instantly blown up. Requiem comes up from Karthus, and just as I was saying earlier, it was a very smart move from Karthus to not use or to not waste it. He opted to throw it out there, and I don't think that was smart. That's a really high cooldown on that ability. 144 seconds, and we got more pressure on this bottom lane. Randian's on and pop from Shyvana to try keep everybody back. Depth Charge jumps out onto Shaco, does knock him up, but he uses his Deceive to go invisible for a few seconds, and Ash Arrow onto Ken, and that's immediately going to blow him up. He gets his Maelstrom for a few seconds. Not enough to save his life, though, and Wish coming out from Soraka. That does save Nautilus. Huge damage coming down. Lee Sin and Shaco trying to run away. Urgot is just completely locked up. Can't decide who to focus, can't decide who he wants to kill. Soraka manages to pick up the kill credit for Urgot, and while running away, Shaco goes down to, I believe, an Ignite. Yeah, there was an Ignite tick from Shyvana. So what looked like a good engagement for Prod immediately gets turned around. Ash Arrow and Depth Charge from Nautilus. So much Team CC, Team Knockup. I mean, 3 people got hit by that Depth Charge. And a great stop there. The Janna picks up the kill credit from the turret. Soraka was tanking the turret for too long. I think she just spaced out for a little bit. Dredgeline pulls Janna forward, but I don't think they're going to be able to push this down. Ash just landing crit after crit after crit. Melting the hit points of Janna. She's immediately falled back. Lee Sin's looking for a Q, looking to see if he can land that Resonating Strike. Sonic Wave Resonating Strike. It's a Hadouken. I'm sticking with Hadouken. So I'm afraid we've hit this point in the game where Shaco really starts to fall off even more. He's only managed to pick up a Zeal, Wriggle's Lantern, and a Negatron Cloak just to try and survive the damage that Karthus is putting out. And it's absolutely mental. So, really well played by Karthus. 11-6-5. 16 of the 20 kills his team currently has he's been involved in. And 11 of them he's picked up kill credit. More than 50% of the total team kills. So really great and well played by them. Ash at the minute playing what looks like a support role. 0-4-12. A little bit unlucky to not pick up the kills. But she's farmed her way into this game. 236 CS to the 182 of Urgot. And another Dragon goes the way of Prodigiously Gaming. So they've really got Dragon on lockdown. They've only lost one so far. StarCraft 2, oh my god. Or StarCraft 2 Mung. What's up? Parisha95. Thanks, man. Thanks for saying it's a good cast. I really appreciate the love and the feedback. I'm going to be here all day long. This is, of course, the Go4LoL from ESL. This is their 87th Cup, which is crazy if you think about it. 87 weeks of Sunday Go4LoL, and we have 330 teams in the Cup today. Ash Arrow coming out, does land onto Lee Sin, so that's not going to be enough to really secure anything. Urgot being focused, and huge damage from Ash, using those Frost Arrows to keep him in place. Shyvana jumps in there with Defile and Layaways. He picks up the first kill. Kennan's now going to be the next victim. Monsoon throws everybody back. Not enough to really save Kennen, unluckily. One more arrow from Ash, and that looks like it's going to be GG. Requiem thrown out from Karthus just to put the pressure down, make sure they have to fall back and heal up before they can do anything more. Lee Sin dives in, but that's just going to be a suicidal move. Takes up damage, and great crit from Ash. Completely locks up Lee Sin. GG to first time from Poland. They win the first game of their Go4LoL 87. And congratulations to the guys. Congratulations to the Polish side. This is the first time they've actually entered Go4LoL, according to their player profile. So let's have a quick look at the final kill scores, final farm. You can see the items. This is Go4LoL. I am Quickshot. We are going to be jumping into game number 2 just as soon as I reconnect to the chat server, as you can see it's trying to do on the bottom there. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to throw up some music and mute my microphone just for a few minutes. So bear with me, hang around. We'll jump into game number 2 shortly. And bring your friends. Let everybody know that there's a South African dude streaming and casting. I'd love to get the viewer numbers back up. We broke 220 the last time I did this, so let's see if we can do it again. So for the time being, guys, let's get the music pumping.